Hi everybody, I'm Zilla Blitz, and welcome to episode 2 in our campaign game with Silent Victory, GMT Games' game of World War II submarine combat in the Pacific Theater. We're going to jump back in and finish up our first patrol, which had gotten quite long in our first episode. Before we do that, we're going to recap our first episode, we're going to name our submarine, we're going to make final crew assignments, then we're going to jump in and wrap up our first patrol. Let's not waste any time, let's get started. So let's recap the first half of our patrol so far. We started right out here in the north part of the northern edge of the Philippines, and our mission was to pick up passengers. Basically, we're helping U.S. personnel or Allied personnel evacuate from the Philippines in the face of the Japanese advance. We did successfully pick up our passengers just after having nearly avoided an air attack, and then we proceeded into this first patrol zone in the northeast corner of the Philippines here, and we did run into a convoy. We had some success so far. We've sunk 3 ships, the 7,000-ton Sagara Maru, the 2,500-ton Ni Takamaru, and then the 10,100-ton Toa Maru, giving us a rather a nice total for our first patrol here of 17,600 tons. For the rest of the patrol, we're going to keep following this patrol because we still have 8 torpedoes left on our forward tubes. Our aft tubes are completely depleted, but we've got shots left. So we're going to stay on this convoy's tail and see if we can rack up some more damage, and then make our way through these patrol zones, down into this transit zone, and hopefully safely back with our passengers to Brisbane, where we'll do a post-patrol evaluation. Now, we do have we finalized our crew list as well. We have all 4 of our crew members that we had initially assigned confirm their positions. So Executive Officer Wallace, Chief Engineer Wagner, our pharmacist mate Lyle, and our second Executive Officer Custard are all on there. Our top waiting list person did not confirm their position, so I've moved everybody else into the waiting list. There's 11 people on it. I'm going to have a list down in the description that shows where you are in the waiting list. Now, to be totally honest, we're probably not going to need 11 people in this campaign. That would be exceptionally unusual, I would think. But what I'm going to do is for the next Submarine Monday series that we start, we'll carry over our waiting list with the kind of qualification that we ask people to confirm their position on the waiting list on that first episode. So I think that's the fairest way to kind of do that. I realize it's hard to get everybody in, right? But there's only 4 spots basically on the crew. But we'll do the best we can and move forward with that. Now, before we start and resume following this Japanese convoy, we do need to make a very important confirmation here is, what are we going to name our submarine? So let's go do that now. I'd like to thank everyone for suggesting names. We had a ton of good suggestions, and I may have missed 1 or 2. I apologize if I did. But what I thought, rather than having a vote, which would take some time, or kind of me pick one I liked, because there was a lot I liked, that would just let the Wheel of Fate determine the name of U-86. So I've taken what I thought was the best name out of each person's suggestion. So if you suggested more than 1 name, I reduced it down to 1, and I might have picked that randomly a little bit as well. But what we've got is Skipjack, Lady Eleanor, Spadefish, Nessie, Queensland Sea Dragon, Orca, Stingray, Whale, Barracuda, Zilla, and Puff are our choices here. Let's roll the wheel and see where our fate lies. The wheel will determine our name. Is it Zilla? Is it Puff? Is it Skipjack? I think it's Skipjack. It is. We have a winner. We are the USS Skipjack. Thanks everybody for suggesting names, and we have a name for 186. Most excellent. Let's continue on now with our patrol. We've got a name for our submarine, we have a crew allotted, and we are back in business. The Skipjack will continue following the convoy that had engaged twice already, hoping to extract even more damage from its enemy here. Now for this one, in order to successfully follow this patrol, we need a 1 to 4 on the die roll. A 3. Once again, we have successfully followed this patrol. And I also want to, because of where we are with day and night and how many torpedoes we have left and how many patrol zones we have left, we're going to try to switch to night. On a roll of a 1 to 4, this would be a success. On a 5 or a 6, we would lose the target, but a 1. Excellent. So once again, we're engaging with the patrol. We get right back busy in the action. I'm going to roll up some ships, and then we're going to figure out our plan of attack. Alrighty, we didn't do so well in terms of rolling up juicy targets here. All 3 are small freighters. The first here on our left side is the 2,200-ton Kotohira-san Maru, a freighter, Japanese freighter. The second ship here is another small freighter, the Toyo Maru at the exact same weight, 2,200 tons as the Kotohira-san Maru. And then the last one here, Chowa Maru, 2,700 ton freighter, so a little heavier than the other two. So with that in mind, let's allot our torpedoes here. I think we're going to do another array like we've done in the past. It seems to be working pretty well. So we're going to go 2 on the heaviest one, the Chowa Maru, and then 1 each on the other 2 smaller freighters. We're going to come in at medium range. It is nighttime. We're going to be on the surface, which doesn't yet give us a penalty, so we get a nice -1 modifier to our die roll. And medium range means that we need an 8 or less to hit here. We're going to fire all torpedoes. Again, our dud rates are 1 to 4, so if we could get 2 hits here, that'd be awesome. Even 1 I'd be kind of happy with. Let's see how we do. We'll fire first against the Kotohira-san Maru. Fire 1. We get a 7 and a 4, so it hits, but it does not explode. Let's go to fire 2. 10, and it was not a dud. Ah, what a waste. So our first 2 torpedoes go wide, or to no effect here. Let's get our 2 shots on our biggest target here. Fire 3. An 11 and a 4. What's going on with our torpedo room now? Come on, guys. Let's get it together. Our last shot. Fingers crossed. Let's get something here. An 8 and a 3. We get a hit, but it's a dud. 0 for 4 on that round. Well, that was not the best start to this episode here. Let's go in now and see if we can escape detection. There are no modifiers, I think. Looking through everything here, we need an 8 or less straight up, and yeah, nothing else comes into play. The night surface attack doesn't impact us until 1942, so I think we're good here. So let's see what we've got. We need 8 or less to get out. Oh God, that's not good. So a 12, we've been detected, and they get +1 on the attack die roll modifier. So let's see how much we get hit here. So for this one, we're going to, we basically roll up. We see how many hits we can get. Let's see what else is been. Night surface attack. Oh God, yeah, it's night surface attack is +1 on the first round only. And then we rolled a 12 plus on detection, so we add a +2 to this. Yeah, this is kind of nasty. A 9 plus 2 is 11. 3 hits. Okay, so let's get going here on our damage now. Alrighty. So, we gotta take 3 hits here. Let's take a look. Our sub, as we already know, has had 2 hull damage in evasive maneuvers on the previous episode. So we still have some hull damage to contend with. We'll roll up for our 3 hits. Now, one thing I did between this episode and the last one is I made a copy of the sub mat, and then I printed off this on the side so that we can fit it into the camera a little bit better. I felt like the other one had too much wasted space. So let's see what we get for damage here. We had 3 hits. 31. 31 is flooding. Okay, well, that might not be too bad. You know, usually we can fix those unless it gets very serious. Here's our second hit. 14. Ah, the periscope. Okay, so let's get some damage on that. I don't have the right marker. That's a diesel marker, but we'll just pretend it's the periscope. So periscope is damaged. Hopefully Wagner can fix that one. Engineer Wagner. 64 is a forward torpedo side odd. So that would be forward torpedo odd. Oh, okay, I get it. So that's these 2 here. Odd would be the starboard side torpedo doors. Okay, so we've lost 2 of those. That's not good. But those are our 3 hits. Now let's go back and see, all things considered. We have to see if we can stop. No, flooding comes at the end, right? Okay, so let's go back up now and see if we can evade detection. We need an 8 or less. However, we were previously detected, so we need a 7 or less. I think that's it for right now. None of these other things matter. The periscope doesn't matter, and the torpedo doors don't matter. 7 or less to get us out of here. Let's go. God, a 10. Okay, so we're detected again. Let's see what we get for hits here. Now, first round only is a night surface attack, so we have a regular 0, no die roll modifiers for this one. 6. That 1 hit? Yes, it is 1 hit. Okay, we're taking a beating here in this first patrol. What we get for a hit? A 51. 51 is more flooding. Okay, so that's our second piece of flooding. Now let's go back and see if we can escape detection again. So far, we've escaped serious damage in this round. We need a 7 or less, right? So, I think so, right? 8 or less? 7 or less. Previous attack. 7 or less. A 5. Yes! Finally, we have gotten out of here. Excellent. So, With 4 torpedoes left, we've escaped detection. We have to check to see if there's more flooding, however, although I think that's not going to be a problem for us, right? Because it's not going to amount to anything. Let's roll on this. What did we get? A 1 to 4. Flooding is stopped. 6. It did not. It was additional flooding. So we got 3. Now I have to check one thing real quick. Yeah, that's my bad. I should have rolled again for flooding on that one because it's not going to matter because we escaped. A 2, the second time we did not have additional flooding. Because we should have rolled for flooding on each combat round, and I forgot that the first round. But we escaped detection. We can blow Ballastier, clear our flooding, and it is now time to decide what we want to do. Do we want to follow that convoy again? And I think the answer is yes. Convoys are good things to do, so let's see if we can follow this convoy one more time. I'm going to keep the same chart out. We just need a roll of a 1 to 4 to be able to do that. 4. We've successfully followed. Let's see if we can... Oh, we have to roll for day or night. I think I missed the first roll, right? I didn't roll for whether it was day or night. I'm a little rusty here, so we should have rolled for day or night on that first engagement. 1, 2, or 3, it's day. 4, 5, or 6, it's night. We get a day. Now we're going to see if we can successfully shift to night. We need a 1 to 4. A 1. Excellent. So we come back at the convoy again. It is nighttime. Apologize for the clunkiness here. It's been a while since I've played. Oh, now I'm hitting the camera. We're going to come back in on the convoy. Let's roll some ships and see what we get for targets. Yes, silly me. We have to see if we can fix things first. What am I talking about? Gosh. I am just out of it here. Okay, periscope. Mr. Wagner, Engineer Wagner has to fix our periscope on a 1 to 2. And I think we can't make submerged attacks if we screw this up. A 3. So our periscope stays damaged. That's not good. So we can't make submerged attacks. That means, well, we're coming in the nighttime. That's okay, right? Because we're going to come in on the surface. We don't need our periscope. Our forward torpedo doors. What happens here? Forward even-numbered odd tubes or off-doors jams cannot fire torpedoes from specified compartment following combat attempt repair. So we need a 1 or 2 here to be able to fire all 4 torpedoes. 3. All right. So we got 2 torpedoes. We're still going in. Let's just do it. Screw it. I think we need. If we get 1 more ship, I think we get like a bigger medal or something like that. So let's go in. We're gonna roll up this convoy. We'll just shoot with our 2 torpedo doors that are working. We don't need our periscope. Screw it all. Let's just go in and sink something else. So both fortunate and unfortunate, we have some amazing juicy targets here. Not this one. The first one is a small freighter, the Hakuyo Maru, at 1,300 tons, so a small target. But a large tanker, 10,100 tons, the Tatekawa Maru. So a juicy target, but it gets even better. Large passenger ship, the Tatuta Maru, at 17,000 tons. That's as much as almost as much as the 3 ships we've already sunk in the whole patrol. Some hopeful strategy, I think, is could we perhaps just damage this one so we get another chance to engage? We can follow and engage it with our last 2 torpedoes, and maybe even then the escort would abandon it, and we would be able to come in on the surface and use some of our surface, our kind of a deck guns there. But we're going to see what we can do. I'm not sure. This seems like a little bit of folly here with only 2 tubes working and 2 shots from these crappy dud torpedoes. Let's fire away though. So we have to get coming in at night on this one on the surface, so we get -1 to our die roll. We're going to come in at medium range. We need 8s or less to hit, and there are no other modifiers here. So let's see if we could get. Oh, wouldn't that be lucky if we could get 2 hits? So let's see what we can do. We missed, and it's a dud. That's not a good start. We've had a rough patrol, rough episode here for this. Second shot, 7. Yes, and it's not a dud. So 1 torpedo swings wide, the other one hits and explodes. Now, interestingly, if we get super lucky here, it's a 4. We need 4 hits of damage to sink it. So a 1 does 4 hits of damage. Anything else would damage it but not sink it. So if we get a 1, we could sink this one. Fingers crossed. Dice roll gods, give us a good result here. Oh, God. But not bad. 2 damage. 1, 2. Okay, so we've damaged the Tatua Maru, and now we have to try to escape detection and get out of here. Then we can try to follow the damaged ships and see. So that's our plan of attack. Let's, however, see if we can escape detection. We've not had the best escaping detection rolls here on this patrol, as I think, twice now we've been caught. Last one with the 12. This one we need an 8 or less. We are no other modifiers in here. We're not going to try to exceed test depth. Not previously detected. Yep, 8 or less. Let's see what we can do. Come on, let's get out of here. 7. Excellent. Okay, so now let's start to follow this damaged ship. Alrighty, so kind of just refreshing myself on the rules here. Because this is a passenger ship and it is damaged, the following is automatic, and we can choose whether we want to come in at day or night if the ship is damaged. So we want to choose to come in at night for sure. The die roll we do have to make, though, is to determine whether the escort has abandoned the passenger ship or whether the escort sticks around. On a 1 to 4, the escort is still with the passenger ship. On a 5 or 6, it's abandoned it and left the Tato Amaru to its fate. Let's roll and see what we get. Hoping for a 5 or a 6. That would be totally awesome. A 1. It's like sticking around and definitely around here. So we will come in again still. We're going to come in with the escort. It doesn't matter. We still have 2 torpedoes left. We're going to use them. Our last 2 torpedoes. We will fire them now at the Tato Amaru. We could get just the same amount of damage as we did last time. That would be good. Hoping for, 1 hit, 2 hits would be awesome. But yeah, like that's going to happen. Okay, so we're coming in medium range again. It's nighttime. Same situation. We're just firing 2 torpedoes again at the Tato Amaru. Hopefully we can get another couple of damage points on it. Be awesome to take this one out. Here's our roll. Fire 1. It hits, but it's a dud. Bloody hell. Okay, let's go. Second one. Fire 2. Oh, it was like a great hit. Snake Eyes would have been a critical hit that would have sunk it, but unfortunately it is a dud as well. Let me just double check. I wonder if Snake Eyes is on automatic, not dud. I don't think so, but I'm just going to check that. Yes, unfortunately, although that was a critical hit, it still has to pass the dud test, and it did not. So no damage done here. All of our torpedoes are gone. We've shot 24 torpedoes in this battle, and they're still gone. However, we're not done yet. We could follow, and if the escort abandons the passenger, we could still get this one. But let's see if we can survive detection or less. We need an 8 or less. There are no die roll modifiers here. Escape detection, 4. Excellent. So we are out of here. Now we're going to follow again. I think if the escort's here, there's nothing we can do, and we can't fire anything. So that makes it the end of the encounter, because you can only follow if you fire at the target. But that isn't the case this time. We don't have any torpedoes left. So, and we have to come in on the surface. But anyways, okay, yeah. Let's see if we can follow. We need, in order to keep this going then, we need a 5 or a 6. Because we automatically follow. We're going to come in at night. On a 1 to 4, this passenger ship is still escorted. On a 5 or a 6, we can come in and try to attack with our deck gun. A 1. Okay, so there you have it. We follow. It's under escort, but because we have no torpedoes left, we cannot fire and cannot engage. We can't come in on the deck gun on the surface when there's escorts. So we are out of here, and that ends this patrol zone. So close to taking out the Tato Amaru. That was almost a good one. Anyway, let's continue on now with our patrol. We have a couple of I think what are easy decisions to make. Alrighty, I was thinking because we don't have any torpedoes that we could abort the mission and just come back here to the transit zones to skip these patrol zones. But if we do roll a 3, we get a ship that's unescorted. And I think that might work out pretty well, because potentially we could come in and try to get it with our deck guns. So let's see what happens here in terms of engagements. We will move on now to this Philippine ×2 zone. So we're going to roll twice here to see what we get. We get an 8, which is nothing. Then we get, and so basically we're only looking for the ship by itself, which I think is a roll of 3. Oh gosh, we just missed it. 4. So nothing as well. So let's go on to our next zone here. This might go fairly quickly unless we get attacked by an aircraft, which is possible here. Next zone here is a 10, which is a convoy. We don't have any torpedoes, so we can't engage. So we're going to skip that and move on to our next zone here. Gosh, we had 2 convoy chances. A lot of fighting in this patrol. 10, another convoy. We're going to be kicking ourselves for convoy rolls in the future. We're probably not going to get any more of these, because I think that's where the juicy targets are, and they don't come up as much as they do in like the hunters. So it's the convoys, I think, is where you can really pick up some damage here. Onward to the transit zone, though. 2 zones to go, and again, we do have our passengers with us, and the entire success of the mission hinges on whether we get our passengers back alive or not. So if something catastrophic were to happen here, and we were to lose our passengers, that would be the end of the engagement here. So here we go. We are in the transit zone. Just looks like a roll of a 2 causes us to kind of have a problem here. Let's see what we get. 7. So that is uneventful, and we scamper through. We are almost to the safety of Brisbane and our port in Australia. Our last roll. That was close. Almost an aircraft. But a 3, the top result again is a 2, gets us through that zone. I don't think there's any modifiers. Yep, there's no modifiers that apply to that for sure. So we are back in Brisbane. Successful patrol. Let's summarize and kind of take a look at our refit and see what kind of awards we might get here and sort this out at the end of the mission. Alrighty, well that was quite an eventful first patrol there. If all of our patrols are like this, I think we're in for an eventful campaign, although I'm not sure how long we'll survive at the rate we were taking damage there. So, 3 ships sunk. Sagarimaru at 7,000 tons, the Ni Takamaru at 2,500 tons, and the Toamaru at 10,100 tons, giving us a grand total of 17,600 tons. That total is actually enough for us to get out of the defeat category, which means you need more than 10,000 tons to have a draw. So if the game were to end right now, we would have a draw. Now, the next category we need then is 40,000 tons. That will get us into the marginal victory, although there are some conditions by which we could still lose the game. The most glaring of which that stands out to me is what's called relief for cause. Unlike in the Hunters in Silent Victory, if you have 3 unsuccessful patrols consecutively, you are immediately relieved for cause, for just not being a productive skipper. So that's going to be looming over our head pretty much for the whole campaign. However, one of the things that happened in this battle does kind of mitigate that damage, mitigate that rule a little bit. We'll talk about that in a moment. But first, let's go in and start to refit our ship here, our sub, the skipjack here. Now I'm going to reload the torpedoes after the episode because there are just so many of them. There's 24 of them here. But we had 2 hull damage. Normally, the refit would be... Normally, it's a 2-month patrol, so we go into January 1942. And then we have to refit the sub in addition to that. We have 2 systems damaged. We have our periscope and our torpedo doors. I'm assuming this is one system, even though it's 2 markers there. And you get 2 free fixed. So that's not going to extend our refit at all. Normally it would be 1 month. However, we have 2 points here of hull damage, which means that extends our refit from 1 month to 2 months. Which means that our patrol end at the end of January 1942, February, March 1942. It'll be April 1942 when we begin our second patrol. So we'll come back for that one. But one last thing, however, that did happen in this mission, which is kind of interesting, is that we did get some commendations. Now, we could have gotten 3 because we completed the successful mission. We would get a Navy Commendation ribbon. Because it was a successful patrol, there was another one we could have gotten. But you can only get 1 per patrol in terms of the crew and stuff like that. And the one that was our greatest one is the one you get. Because we sank 3 ships, we actually get a Bronze Star. So that is our first medal, which is pretty good. Now, the benefit of that, too, is the Bronze Star comes with a special benefit, which means that it requires 4 failed patrols for us to be relieved for cause. So we can screw up 3 and we can still keep going with our career, which might come in handy. I don't really know how likely it is that we wouldn't sink something on a patrol, but that could very well be the case. Then lastly, the last thing we got is with a successful patrol, the submarine itself, the skipjack, gets its first battle star. So we get 1 battle star. That has a small impact on when new crew members come in, if replacements come in, that they could come in with some level of experience. But that brings us to the end today. We are all done. If you have enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new, please consider subscribing. We'll be back next Monday for our second patrol, our 3rd episode, as we continue the adventures of the USS Skipjack. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you've enjoyed this, again, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new, please consider subscribing, and we'll see you in a week.